Hamilton. Bolt going for it, and here comes Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt storming through. He takes it again. Blake gets the silver. 9.64. Oh, he's retained his title in the most emphatic way. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Usain Bolt of Jamaica is the fastest man on the planet. 9.63. A superb demonstration.
Lana Wood and Water. You mean Lana Crime and Drama? That girl Jean, she thief a bag of money we cause whole heap eruption. That girl Jean, the whole saga in her signed declaration. That girl Jean, we really want to know if she thief any from the world fastest man. That girl Jean, if I know she then a who no step forward we do no confession. Yeah, that's fun, but let's get serious. Now, SSL is in all over social media for the missing millions from several people's account, including Usain Bolt, $12.75 million US. That's a lot of money. Wow. Now, some people are speculating, is he going to get his money back? Who took the money? As you know, Jean and Panton has come forward with a solicitor and basically wrote a statement, a letter declaring that she's the one that's taken some 30 odd clients' money. Now, Usain Bolt is not on that list of clients, but she did go into detail as to the name of the clients, the amount she took, and also she mentioned a bit about her family background and the situation she was going through mentally, and whether that was to justify taking the money or not, I don't know. I don't see where that's relevant, but I suppose she's trying to build some type of mental case. I don't know, but my suspicion is the lawyer said to her, "Listen, Gina, you better come forward and confess, because these people go and track this money and catch it anyway." So she came forward. She did the right thing actually. She confessed and she named names. But whether she actually take, or should I say she took, Usain's money is a different matter. I say that because his name is not on the list of her clients whose money she's taken. So a lot of people are saying, why is that omitted? Well, one thing that sparks my mind straight away is maybe she's not the wealth manager for Usain Bolt's money. It's up to him to actually say, well, she's been the one. But as far as we can tell, it could be that she's not the one who managed his money, and therefore his name is not on the list. Because obviously Usain Bolt is missing some $12.75 million US. So someone took it. Who took it? And if it's not Jean Ann that took it, then who took it? Now here's the real question for other clients. Now you have to start thinking, well, Jean Ann has come forward and tell some, I should say. And obviously if Usain's money is missing, but she didn't mention it, then that means whoever has taken Usain's money is also some type of wealth manager in a similar position as Jean Ann, that's doing a similar thing that Jean Ann is doing. So in other words, this seems to appear on the surface like she's not the only one within the company SSL that's been doing this. There are others. Yes. So the two thing right here is either Jean Ann took it and for whatever reason she forgot genuinely to put his name on there, or she deliberately omitted his name off of it even though she took his money, or the other option is she didn't take his money at all and she only mentioned those whose money she's wrongfully taken, and whosoever has taken Usain's money, well, they're the mystery person. That's the person you need to track down. So other clients of this particular securities firm needs to start finding out, well, if your client is not Jean Ann and Usain's money is missing, then whosoever your wealth manager is, or the person responsible for managing your portfolio, could well be dipping into yours or should have dipped into yours and taken your money too. So that's a big can of worms opening there. As you know, this has been going on for some decade, well over a decade we should say, between 2012 to 2022. So that's a decade long solid of of stealing and missing funds going awry. And of course the box stopped with no other than what's his name, the founder of the company, Hugh Croskery. The box stopped with him. You might say, well, I wasn't there, I didn't do it. It doesn't matter. You're the captain of the ship. Everything stops with you. And if I remember right, his son Mark Croskery used to be on the SSL company as well. He used to work at the company, from what I know. The other name that keeps popping up is what's his name? Zachary Harding. His name keeps popping up as well. Not that he has anything to do in anything, or that the son has anything to do in anything, as in Hugh Croskery's son. So I'm not suggesting that Mark Croskery or Zachary Harding has anything to do with this as well, or indeed even Hugh Croskery. What I'm saying is these guys have worked at the company at some stage, and as you know, Zachary Harding has left SSL and has found and set up his own company, Delta Group company. So there's that situation. So there's a lot of things to uncover. Of course, there's other people that we might want to look at. Not necessarily mean that they're guilty, but these people can help stitch information together because they worked at the company or have worked at the company at some point during that 10 years, and the position they held, it begs to question whether they did or didn't have access to the accounts and oversight to sort of pick up on what was going on and stop it and nip it in the bud before it gets any worse. So the other person that comes to mind is the head of compliance, which is Sonia Nicholson. The other person comes to mind is her name is Alison Hemmings, Chief Financial Officer. Now I'm going to bring the details of these people up as I speak or later in the video. Now obviously a lot of people have been trying to go to the website and get the team staff information, and the word is that page has been deleted, but I managed to put it up quite easily. So yeah, and I'm going to share it with you guys so you can sort of use it and delve into a bit more. Of course, another name that comes to mind at the time is Jeffrey Cobham. He was also one of the chairmen in the executive board along with Hugh Croskery. So there you go. There's a lot of names, and I'm going to go through them as this video trods along. So let's just jump into that. So here we are on the website SSL, and basically as you can see, I've gone in and about and go into team, and now these are the people that are the sort of the leadership team board of directors. They're the board of directors. So here we have Chairman Jeffrey Cobham, Executive Director Hugh Croskery. We've heard a lot about him. Then you have Group CEO Zachary Harding. We've heard a lot about him. Chief Financial Officer Alison Hemmings. We have Head of Compliance Sonia Nicholson, and of course we have Director of Private Wealth and Client Services Sarah Meany. Now the interesting thing is no one mentions this person, Sonia Nicholson, but this is the head of compliance to make sure that the SSL is doing everything and complying with the regulators and making sure all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed and so on and so forth. So I'm not sure if it will come under her jurisdiction of detecting all the fraud that went on, but at the same time she would probably be part of that sort of oversight to make sure that everything is above board legally and sticking to the regulatory rules and directives, so the company operates and treat their clients in what we call in London we have something called initiative called TCF, treating customers fairly. So that would come under her jurisdiction. So that kind of ties in, isn't it? Because if you're gonna what happened to Usain Bolt, that money would be like, if it's stolen and his money has gone missing, that's not treating customers fairly, is it? That's treating customers very unfairly. So, to me, she would be a person of interest to sort of interview and to track down and get information from her. It doesn't really mean she had anything to do with anything, but she would be a person that you'd want to talk to at least. I mean, all of these people be people you want to talk to, because after all, the leadership team, they are the senior managers of this team. So these are all the senior management we're looking at here. We hear a lot about him, and we'll talk about him in a little bit more. But these are the other people that people want to know about. The interesting thing is when I click on their information, it's blank. Nothing really is coming up about these people, which is kind of weird. You get their photo, but you don't see much in terms of information about them, which I find to be weird. Same thing with Alison Hemmings, not much come up. And the thing is, when you have a corporate business and you have a corporate website, if I'm not mistaken, by law, they're supposed to list all the people on the team that are the directors, managers, executive board members, etc., and a brief description of what they do. So for these people that's on the senior management team, they don't have any information but just their name and the position they hold in the company. Now you have the two chairman at the top, which is the leadership team, board of directors. Of course, you have him, which is Hugh Croskery. You click on his information. Okay, we got some information about him, and you can pause this at any time and read to your leisure. But I'll just briefly read it. Mr. Hugh Croskery is the founder of Stocks and Securities Limited (SSL) and is an executive director of the organization, and has been the guiding force for the wealth management, growth and development of SSL over the past 6 years. Mr. Croskery was formerly the chairman and managing director of PCY & Co. Mr. Croskery is a fellow of the Institute of Canadian Bankers and is chairman of the Varley, sorry, because the writing is very small, Varley Home for Gentle Women, and a trustee of the Jamaica Stock Exchange pension fund. Wow. Well, Hussein, anyway, and Justice of the Peace, for St. Andrew. Mr. Croskery serves as an executive director on the board of directors. Okay, so that's him there. So let me just bring that up again. You can pause it, read at your leisure. There we go. The other person no one has mentioned is Jeffrey Cobham. He's also a chairman, so let's click on his profile. So Mr. Jeffrey Carl Cobham serves as an executive chairman of the board of directors. He also sits on the board of Sagicor, we've heard that name, Property Services Limited, Sagicor Life of the Cayman Islands Limited, Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited, Sagicor Life Jamaica Limited, and Pulse Investments Limited. Mr. Cobham chairs the board of Diverse Assets Inc. or Incorporated, parent company of Tropical Battery Company Limited, Diverse Properties Limited. I wonder if it's Diverse or Diverse. I'm not sure which one. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. So Diverse Properties Limited and Chuka Cove Adventures Limited. I'm struggling to read this because the writing is choppy and small. He is Chancellor's representative to the UOWI, so that's University of the West Indies Mona Campus Council, and sits on its finance and general purposes and audit committees. Mr. Cobham is an approved mentor on the mentor list of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Wow, another connection to the stock exchange, Jamaica Stock Exchange. So a former managing director of National Commercial Bank NCB Jamaica Limited. Mr. Cobham also served for 13 years as chairman of the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, and Edna Manley is a very prestigious performing arts college. He has also chaired the board of the National Dance Theatre, which is another famous institution, Company of Jamaica, and the Montego Bay Little Theatre, also another prestigious movement. So let us read that bit back again. He has also chaired the board of the National Dance Theatre Company of Jamaica and the Montego Bay Little Theatre movement, and has been a director of the National Gallery of Jamaica. So quite a few prestigious names behind this gentleman, Mr. Cobham. So there we have it. So that's these people. But I'm going to delve a bit more because I'm thinking, okay, so I've heard rumors that they're trying to hide this information off the internet, but I don't have any problem getting it at all. Now I'm going to see who else has been on the board of directors over the, in that's either missing or we need to know about, because there's also been mention of us, his son, and I think his son's name is Mark Croskery, but he's not mentioned here at all. So let's see if he had any connections with this. So I'm gonna have to probably dig a bit deeper to find out, so just give me a second. Now I've decided that, you know what, I'm gonna start looking at some of their directors and board members or whatever team over the years. So back in 2017, this is what the team looked like. As you can see, it's a little bit different than the one I showed before. So as you can see, I think that's the son of Hugh Croskery, Mark Croskery. There he is. Let's just click on him and see if any information. There we are. Mr. Mark Croskery, has been our Chief Executive Officer and Stocks and Securities Limited since 2007. SSL has grown into a leading provider of wealth and management financial planning products and services for retail customers and SMEs. So in other words, he's dealing with the normal man in the street kind of thing, by creating savings for Jamaicans with investment portfolios before joining SSL. Mr. Croskery was a leading wealth manager and equity trader at NCB Capital Markets Limited. Let me just pause for a second. Yeah, as I was saying, Mr. Croskery received a MSc in Global Finance Analysis and a dual BSc in Corporate Finance Accounting from Bentley University in Boston, Massachusetts. Mr. Croskery is a director on the board of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, where he serves on the compensation of and finance and audit subcommittees and post-to-post bettering. What's that? I can't read this properly because the writing is terrible. It's just, you have to just bear with me. Let me read that again. So, director on the board of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, where he serves on the compensation and finance and audit subcommittees and post-to-post betting company limited. He is a member of Young Presidents Organization and is also the second vice president of the Jamaica Securities Dealers Association. Mr. Croskery previously served on a number of public sector boards, including Chairman, Fisheries, Management and Development Funds, Director of Land Administration and Management Program, Sugar Company of Jamaica and the Jamaica Racing Commission. He serves as an executive director on the board of directors. So obviously, he's in his daddy's company basically. So this person here, Alif Lazarus, we haven't heard a lot about him. Is that Afif? Sorry, my apologies. Afif Lazarus was admitted to practice as an attorney at law in Jamaica in January 1973 and as a solicitor in England and Wales in 1977, and became a notary public for the island of Jamaica in the same year. So I'm not going to read much more about him. There's stuff here about him on Coca-Cola, Xerox Corporate, Kraft Foods. These are all big names, by the way. So you can pause the video basically and read the rest of the information that you want to read about him. So who else? Lemar Harrison, never heard her information, but again, Lemar joined SSL in 2012 and has over 10 years of experience in the financial sector. Blah blah blah. Again, pause the information. I'll move the mouse out of the way. Pause the information and read to your leisure and move on. Now, of course, there is Daddy, founder of the company, Hugh Croskery. His stuff reads a little bit different than the one I've read before. Mr. Croskery is the founder of Stocks and Securities of SSL, and is an executive director of the organization and has been the guiding force for the wealth management, growth and development of SSL, etc., etc. Over the past 6 years, Mr. Croskery was formerly the chairman of managing director of PCY, which his son is sort of a member of, if I remember correctly. Mr. Crockery is a fellow of the Institute of Canadian Bankers, which, if I remember right, his son is also of that. You can go back and watch the video and pause it at the bit just to verify that. And the rest of the information I won't read. You can just pause it and read that information at your leisure, and then you can press play when you're done. And then here we are, some other people: Gordon Langford, Guyan Arscott. Of course, we've done Jeffrey Cobham already. Paige Todd, Kelvin St. C. Roberts. Over 30 years experience in audit, accounting, etc., etc. And again, what I'll do, I'll just click on these people's profile. You can pause the video and just quickly read whatever information you want to read about them. So that's him. This person is Jeremy Knight, Dr. Jeremy Knight. No picture, no information. Paige Todd, there's her information. Pause and read. Of course, you got Jeffrey Cobham. Let's see if any of his information changed. There it is. Pause and read. Again, you have Arscott. There is his information. Pause and read. And I'm giving you this information for those of the bloggers and whosoever else wants to go and do their further research and track down some of these people and interview them, and whatever you want to do, and get some more questions and go down the rabbit hole deeper than you want to go. So Gordon Langford, there he is. There is his information, what he does in his position within the company, and the basic history. The good thing with this is, by law, they have to divulge this information by law. This is not because they just want to blow their own trumpet. By law, when you set up these corporate companies, the executive and senior management have to disclose their information like this for the public, because they're dealing with the public. So that's what that is. Lamore Harris, again, pause and read. That's her information. 2012, I think that's the time when Hussein took out his initial investment or whatever with SSL, if I remember correctly. We got his information. We got his information already, and the reason I'm giving you these guys' information is so that you can basically pause and read. Okay, I must say there's one thing I want to really kind of mention. This guy here, Dr. Jeremy Knight, who is he? This silhouette, dark, mysterious figure, making me think, why is his information, why is there not a photo of him for a publicly traded company that deals in the type of stuff they deal with? His picture should be here along with his details, but it's not. It's and he's a part of the leadership team, so I find this weird, to be honest. This is making me think, who is this mysterious person? Just something to think about there, and for you to go and do your research as to who is Dr. Jeremy Knight, and why he wants to remain mysterious. Yes, one other thing I want to actually delve into is market news, investment, personal finance. Our mission, given what's just happened, I thought to myself, you know what, let me look at what their mission is. Oh, here we are, our mission. It was taking too long to load. It's just basically an image. Our mission is to create investment portfolios for every Jamaican and build their Jamaican financial dream. Wow. Yes, so that's their mission. Let's look at their philosophy, shall we? Yes, let's look at their philosophy. Okay, so as you can see, we're now on their page to do with philosophy, and that's their philosophy. I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to scroll very slowly so that you can read information. And all you have to do is just pause. I'm not sure if this email address is working anymore, or these telephone numbers are reachable, but this is quite some time ago, so I'm assuming that number would change by now. So yeah, so just to come full circle, 2023, before they deleted all this, you can see the chairmans are still there. The amount of people that's on the team has dwindled from what I showed you before. Of course, the little chat bot is there, which is not really there anymore. You can see the email address has changed. That was the latest email, 2023. The phone number seems to be the same. You can go back and watch the other bit of the video, just rewind and see, scroll back a bit and see if the number is the same. But yeah, this is the information that a lot of people, and the reason why I brought this particular page up is because a lot of people wanted to basically see what what information they could get on these people, and how they could so they can do some tracking. And you've got some names now where you can start to see who were the people that was connected with the company at senior management level or director, executive board level, and you can do inquiries. So this is mainly for the bloggers, for them to go do their research and stuff, and take it from there really. So that's that really. So let's just move on. So remember when I mentioned Zachary Harding? Here he is, executive chairman along with the group CEO. So this is the Delta website. Now if you remember, he was on the management team over at SSL, and then he left, and this is where he is now. Now if you scroll down, if I scroll down to the bottom, you see board of directors. Now on the other one, he was not on the board of directors, he was on the management team. Here he's on the board of directors. So as you can see, Zachary Harding, here he is, executive chairman. He's the founder of Delta Capital Partners, and if you click into it, it'll give you a bit of a profile reading of his ethos and what he's about, and probably his background. I'll scroll this slowly, and you can pause and go back and and read it in your own time. I'm just going to scroll down as slowly as I can, and obviously you're just going to have to pause and read as you go along. So that's the information on him. Now then you have the partner, which is a group CEO director, which is Ivan Carter, and again there he is. That's all the information you need about him. Of course you can go to the website, because this website has not been tampered with in any way, as opposed to the other one. So all this information is here. Bear in mind that at any time they can edit and add or remove information as they see fit. It's just the way things go. So again, you have Dr. Shante Williams, Mrs. Dione Headley, I hope I pronounced her name correctly. Executive team, there they are. I'm not going to really jump into their thing because this information is already available on their website. I'm just here looking for people who has been mentioned. Now from what I can see, obviously Delta, from what I understand, has nothing to do with SSL, because it was SSL who are the company that's responsible for the misappropriation or whatever, or the missing of Usain Bolt along with over 30 other clients' money. But the reason why I'm on Delta Capital Partners is because the only link I can see here between the two is Zachary Harding. So that's why I'm here. But we should not imply that they have anything to do with them, but just if you want to track and trace who is where, and you never know. This guy here, Ivan Carter, I'm sure when the investigators are doing all their research, some of these people might be called up to give some type of statement, because even though they have nothing to do with the case, they might want to pick their mind and their brain to get some information. So in other words, let's say a crime committed in your neighborhood. You didn't do the crime, but it's very likely, it's a strong possibility that the police would knock on your door as the neighbor, because they're thinking, oh, he's got CCTV cameras facing the direction of where the crime took place, so let's go knock on his door and see if we can get some CCTV footage. Oh, his house is directly opposite what went down, so maybe somebody saw something from the window or whatever. So let's go over there to see if they've seen anything, and if there could possibly be an eyewitness to something. So that's what I mean when I come over to this side. Some of these people, we never know, might be in a position to give some information because a lot of these people is industry, they know each other. The same like how Zachary knows Croskery. They a lot of these people know each other when they go to parties and functions and buffets and blah blah blah. They all meet each other. Can't even speak. Oja. I don't know what is Oja. They when they go to parties, they meet each other and exchange business cards and the typical handshake, the secret handshakes, all kind of stuff goes on. I don't have to go into all of that. So these are the things that happen. So a lot of these people have relationships behind the scene, even though they're setting up and running separate different companies, even if they're doing different line of business. But as you can see here, they're in similar type of business as SSL, so they're in the financial sector for a start. So if they want to say, well, we don't exactly do this and they specialize in that, but we specialize, you're in the financial sector, and it's all a revolving door. Another person that stand out to me is this person here, Anthony Dunn. There has been mention of him as well. Why, I don't know, but his details is there. Again, if you click on his profile, you get a little rundown of what he's about and the companies he's worked for. Basically, just give them a brief summation of their their professional history. Like the companies they've worked and the position they've held and how long they've probably held that position for, and whatever other sort of statement they want to add to that. So yeah, that's him here. So I'm only showing this information because a lot of people is going to do their own research and their own digging, and sometimes people that you think might not have any connection to something, you never know who knows who, and in that respect, what can be done. This face here looks familiar as well. Gavin Jackson, oversight of all financial reporting and accounting across the Delta Capital Group. So he's got Gavin has got oversight on all financial reporting and accounting across the Financial Capital Group. So whosoever is the equivalent to him over at SSL, that's the person we need to look into as well, because he's got the oversight in what's going on, how to account for the money, where the money is going, blah blah blah, so on and so forth. So this is what this is. And of course, whosoever is the compliance person over at SSL, we know who the compliance person over there is. I don't know why I click on his picture anyway, but his name just strikes me as familiar. Not in terms of that he's got anything to do with Usain Bolt's money being missing and the other 30 people money being missing. And I'm not implying that any of these people here have any connections to do with it. The only reason I come over here is because of Zachary Harding. Doesn't necessarily mean that Zachary Harding have anything to do with the money going missing. We can't put accusations out on people, but his name has been mentioned by many vloggers and bloggers, and from what I can understand, he was over at SSL at the time when the money was disappearing, and it seems as if when that company has now gone into, let's say, receivership, and it's now been taken over by, well, not technically, but in a way, it's been taken over by the regulators, Jamaican financial regulators. So because they're taking it over and then they're steering and running things and monitoring, as they say, monitoring things over there and investigating and doing what they're doing and the auditing or whatever they're doing. He's within that time left and come over here and set this company up and found this company. So that's the only reason why I'm over here, because I'm like, I'm curious to what you have going on over here. Now, the other bit I want to jump into is, in terms of, some of the investor relations that they have. So let's click on this, because there have been some bloggers that sort of imply that they're missing money of from SSL, from Usain Bolt's account, has probably gone into setting up these companies here. And I'll put up a list of the some 10 million that they've used to do it. But names like Senate, Delta Pay, Irie Jam Radio, is that Irie Jam? Yeah, Irie Jam Media Group, Quonic, Carib Shopper, quite a number of sort of portfolios that they've set up here. Quite interesting, and you can click on each of them in return and see what they are. So if I click into Senate, for instance, it will give you a bit of information about them, and it tells you here the ownership. So basically, Delta has 20% shares in Senate. And this is, as I say, this is information that you can go over to their website and get this information. Delta's ownership share is 100%. In other words, Delta Pay own this company completely, 100%. Irijam, they have 27% shares in Irijam. Quanic, is that Quanic or Canic? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let's just scroll down. There's no information as to how much shares they own. It's a digitally connected biosecurity platform focused on non-lab testing for various stuff, SARS, the big C, and so on and so forth. So we're not going to jump into that, but that's where they are. Not only that, you can actually go to these websites as well. So let's say, for instance, you go to Senate. You can actually go into your browser and go to any search engine and type in Senate and pull up their website, and then go to their website and dig deeper. This is for people who like to create this web of connection, of tentacles, of octopus, of how, and this is how it normally works within the financial sector. There's always a lot of interconnected situations. This is why there's always that saying, there's a lot of people that says when America financial system sneezes, the rest of the financial systems around the world catches cold, because they're so interconnected. When one system fails or goes into a recession or whatever, then it affects a domino effects on everybody else, because they're all interconnected with each other. Until next time, keep it locked, stay cool.